we're going to go live right now and let that get kicked off. And the other thing is we, let it fly. In a couple minutes here, I'll say, all right, we're ready to go, and I'll count down 3, 2, 1. We'll go about 5 seconds of a silence so that I know where this starts. At the very end of this, we'll say thank you so much, have a good night, but don't hang up. That's just where we're going to end the recording section. And as far as the language used on the show, whatever you want, man. We used to try to keep it clean, and we gave up on that because it didn't work. So
we're really into pirates and sailors.
Yeah, so we curse all the time. And then and if there's the whole goal is to tell your story and the story about Cabe Adventure. So if there's something you want to talk about, let's go down that path. If there's something you don't, just let me know and we'll move on.
Okay.
All right, it looks like we're streaming. Looks like we've got a viewer. Hi, viewer, whoever that is. Maybe it's my mom. It's mom's birthday. What's up, Adam? What's up, Shy? Good evening. Okay, anything else? I think we got everything going. Let me check this. All right, we got people logging in now. Look at that. We already got a couple likes. What's up with that? Usually the dislikes start coming first.
What's up with that?
What's up with it? Usually the thumbs down gets hit right away as soon as we get on.
It's us guys with the beards, man. There's two bearded stallions over here.
Yes. This is all I got. It took me 20 years.
You're welcome.
He is a bear. We do have a
bearded stallions unite.
We do have a bear contingency that listens to the show specifically to see Matt.
There's bears?
Yes, grizzlies.
I'm not seeing it live yet.
Everybody else is seeing it. Volume is good.
I got it.
All right.
The internet just works differently in Big Bear. Right?
Yeah, it takes longer to get up the hill.
Yeah.
You got to get Starlink, Holmes.
All right.
I was like, you know what? I do it in this room all the time, and there's a freaking TV there with YouTube. I don't know why I'm not. But you can't see the comment section on here.
All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, right there.
It's probably better that you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get started. We are going to count down. And you ready to go, Brad?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. It is Tuesday night at 6:30. We are live on YouTube as we are on Tuesday nights. This week, we're joined by Brad Hart from Cabe Adventure, Cabe Toyota and Cabe Adventure. How are you doing tonight, Brad?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it. We were just talking kind of beforehand. I've had the opportunity to spend quite a bit of time with Brad over at Cabe Toyota and kind of see the whole operation of what they're doing there. And part of what Brad's going to talk about today is the grand opening of the Cabe Adventure store on July 9th, which the Trail Chaser team will be hosting down in Long Beach from 8 a.m. to noon, July 9th in Long Beach at Cabe Toyota. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But so for those that don't know or those that aren't local, Cabe Toyota has been down in Long Beach and has got like this long history in the automotive space down there. What's the background of Cabe Toyota as a whole, and then how did you end up there?
So currently the owner is John Cabe, and I probably shouldn't tell you his age, but I don't care.
Well, hold on. But while you say that, I don't know how old he is. He's clearly not young, but that dude is super cool. He's there all the time. He's ornery as hell. He still works on a ranch and a farm, and he still like goes wheeling. Like, he is one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. I really like John.
Behind the scenes, his nickname for the last 20 years that I've been over there is Superman, because we just don't know how he does it. but he just turned 81.
Wow.
He's on par with guys that are in their 60s. He's just amazing. So John had twin. His dad was a twin, so he had his dad and his uncle, twin brothers, moved to California from the Midwest, and they started. I think it was first a Volvo dealership.
Yes.
So they had a Volvo dealership, and they were in the whole, startup dealerships, and we're talking, I think, the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 60s, it was pretty wild, and it was taking a chance. But they were one of the first people to sign on to sell Toyotas, which was a Japanese car.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty risky, I think, in 1966. That's when they opened their dealership. And then they established basically on Long Beach Boulevard there. I don't know about that property. I think they were a little bit further down the boulevard. But they started a Toyota dealership in 1966. They're one of the oldest ones in Southern California to do that. So then John grew up working the family business, and he never left. so now he went from working. He told me that his first job was cleaning out ashtrays. So the cars that would get turned back in or they'd buy, he had to clean the ashtrays, clean the cars out. Then he worked up to the parts and service business where they actually had multiple parts stores. And so he ran those, and then on his way up in the later years to taking over the dealership, and both his uncle and father have passed away. They've been gone for a while. So John's kept the family name alive, and that's kind of the roots of the dealership there in Long Beach. And I believe he was born and raised right there in Long Beach, even though his parents are from the Midwest.
Yeah. And in the showroom, I don't know if it's one of the originals, but in the showroom, they've got an old Toyota pickup that's like a 1960 something pickup, and it's like super pristine, and it still runs because last year at the Toyota Fest event, the team brought it out to the Grand Prix area there, the by the Ocean Park there, pulled it out of the trailer and drove it around like that. What year is that truck? Do you know?
It is a 60. I want to say it's a 66. The year they opened. I could be wrong, but it's real close. If it's not a 66, it's real close to that. And yeah, it's a stout, the first Toyota pickup to come to the U.S. And rumor has it that Toyota is bringing that back.
Really?
Yeah, to compete with the
Ridgeline and Maverick and all that.
Maverick, yeah.
They were like, you know what? We really need to put drum brakes on something.
That's funny. So since 1966, the brand's been there, and then but not just in the form of being a car dealer on Long Beach Boulevard, right? But they've been involved in the community. We talked earlier about some racing and a bunch of other stuff. What other kind of stuff inside the motorsports and off-road and racing communities does Cabe participate in?
So John, from what I hear, his sister, his older sister, Marilyn, she still works there, and so I get some good juicy gossip.
Nuggets,
from her. John was a little bit of hell on wheels back in the day. So this guy, he loved off-road. He would go dirt bike riding. The guy started going to Baja probably in his early 20s and never quit. He's there every off-road race still to this day. So John was big into off-roading. He did have his own off-road team in the 90s. So he had a truck that he raced multiple Baja races and short course races. And then in his later years, him and his buddy support his friend's son's race team. So right now on the circuit, there's Entrusted Racing. They just got fourth at the Baja 500.
Nice.
They race a Class 10 truck, and we sponsor the truck. And John is there for every race, and he still changes the tires and fills gas. So he's pitting for this race team. But Dale Eberts is the driver, and he has won many championships. And we won King of the Hammer in class and overall this year.
Wow.
So we got first place in class 10. And then we went back and raced a short course and got, I believe, third place. So our race team is doing really well. John, he just loves off-roading, and that's where me and him really connected. So the late 90s, I worked for corporate Toyota, and they brought me on as an accessory installer, and they would send me out to different dealerships to help install accessories. So one of my accounts was Cabe Toyota. And I met John, and we just hit it off right away. So that was 25 years ago.
Wow.
And, we go on off-road trips and all kinds of adventures together. But, yeah, just over the past 24 years or 25 years, we've just created such a good bond and friendship.
Yeah, and then so you were with corporate Toyota. You met John. How, when, and why did you make the jump from Toyota corporate to be kind of more in the Cabe family? I mean,
yeah. So I was at corporate for 3 years, and my older brother, I'm not sure if you met him or not. We're super close, Jeremy. I believe he was there for 7 years doing the same thing. We're accessory technicians. We're trained by Toyota. And corporate, we just weren't, the corporate drama was a lot, and we were young. I mean, I was 18 when I started working for Toyota.
Yeah.
So what they were going to do is, I think it was 2000 or 2001, they said, hey, you guys have this experimental accessory program. We're going to shut that down, hand that back off to the dealerships, and you guys can go work at the port, which is the Port of Long Beach, doing installs on all the cars coming in. Me and my brother were scared, but we looked at each other and we thought, man, this is an opportunity for us to bounce. So I met with John. I said, John, hey, if I leave, can we still do something here? And he goes, heck yeah. So about 2000, I left corporate Toyota, went independent, started contracting to Cabe Toyota. And from there, it just has evolved into, now Cabe Adventure. Mm-hmm. But it's just been this work in progress, and it's been fun the whole time.
Yeah, the amount of time I've spent at the dealership, it never seems like you guys are not having a good time. Like, it just seems it seems like a really cool place. So Cabe Adventure. So Cabe Adventure started, based on what I recall, as a way for you guys to connect with your community of people that purchase the Toyota trucks and SUVs to go out and do some adventures. When did that start?
So I would say about 7 or 8 years ago, we started picking up on this off-road movement, and that's what we like to do. We both have ranches. We like to off-road, side by side, ride dirt bikes. We like to go on adventures, but doesn't seem like that many people wanted to go with us, right? So we started, it just started really catching on. And so what we started off doing first was we thought, let's just build out 1 or 2 vehicles at a time, put them on the showroom floor. Like, forget Toyota this, Toyota that. Like, we love Toyota. Toyota's awesome. But we kind of wanted to do it our way, right? We didn't want to have to be stuck to the rules or whatever. We don't want to do what everyone else is doing. So we started building out a truck, putting on stuff that we liked. We didn't really care what other people liked. Me and John would have coffee, and then also want to bring Mike Bingham into this. You've probably met Mike.
Yeah, Mike's a good guy.
And we'd have coffee. We have coffee every morning, and we just kind of, talk and say, hey, this would be cool, or we should do this. Let's try that. How about these wheels? How about these rims? Like, what about this lift? So we started building out a Tacoma, a 4Runner, and just throwing it up on the showroom. And we didn't really care so much about selling that one vehicle. But what we noticed is people would come look at that truck and then they would buy off of that truck. They go, this truck's awesome. I want instead of the black one, I want the white one, but can you make it look like this? And then we thought, you know what? This is one, fun. And two, we have something here. So we slowly, from that point, I'd say about 7 years ago, we slowly started building what it is today to have this, it's a mini adventure center, Cabe Toyota. We branded it Cabe Adventure about 6 years ago to officially give it, its own thing besides Toyota. We want to kind of appeal to everybody, camping. If you have a Jeep, if you have a Ford, we'll help you out with whatever your needs are. We don't want to just be pigeonholed.
Wait a minute, even Fords?
Hold on.
Of course. You don't have to.
Of course. They need a golden nugget every once in a while. They need to
So I had a buddy that just bought a brand new F-250 Ford, and he goes, I want to put a leveling kit, a lift kit on there. And I said, hell, man. I go, you're going to have to come in on a Saturday when no one's around. And I'll come in on my day off just so no one sees us.
I think it's funny that your buddy bought a Ford, and he's like, I got to take it to Toyota. Help this thing out.
You know why? Because he had a Tundra that I fixed up, and he loved that Tundra so much, but he's towing some stuff, and he needed a diesel. So he went with the Ford. I said, okay. But he brought it right back to me to help him, do the suspension.
Well, not even Ford wanted to work on it. So they're like,
that's funny. So you guys also, up until, even like, I think a couple years ago, like you guys started doing trips. Like you and John would put together trips, and we're talking about the owner of the dealership, 81-year-old John, and Brad are putting together these off-road trips to go out and take people wheeling. When did that start?
So 3 years. So me and John did some small trips. He has a ranch. I have a ranch, and we kind of started putting together our own trips. To doing some off-roading adventures to get to our destination, finding cool roads. John's the type of guy, like if we're going to go on a road trip because we have to go pick up something like in Utah, he's going to try to find what dirt roads can we take to get there, right? I'm like, hey, I got to be back by Monday. He's like, don't worry about that. Like, let's find something. So 3 years ago, officially, we started putting our Cabe Adventure trips together. So what we're doing now is I'm mapping out different adventure trips, and the people that have gone before are invited, and then people that we build out their vehicles are invited. So we host one of these trips once a year. Usually after a month of getting back, everyone's texting me like, do we have to wait another year? We got to go again. So our Cabe Adventure trip actually is next Thursday. I have 900 miles mapped out.
Wow. Where are you guys going?
We're going to start. I don't know. It's kind of secret.
Okay.
So
nobody listens.
Yeah, there's only 12 people.
Nobody's watching.
Actually, there's 11 people now that we lost one listener this week. Okay. So, but just like in the Southwest or far away.
I'm joking. So this year it's local. We're gonna start California City area, east of the Owens Valley. We're gonna do. I have about 70, 80 miles of 4 high, 4 low, narrow stuff. We're gonna do the first day. We're gonna end up in the Red Rocks. And then we're going to head northeast of the Owens Valley. From there, we're going to work our way all the way up the Owens Valley, east, all off-road, no pavement, to this mountain range called the Whites, which is northeast of Bishop. Okay. I'm not sure if any of you guys have been up there. I haven't personally been to that spot yet, so I want to check it out. The ancient Bristol Pine Forest is up there.
Okay.
Then we're going to come cross the 395 and go west side of the Owens Valley, come back down to Alabama Hills. You guys have all been there. And then we're going to go up to Wenatchee Meadows.
Okay.
And then there's I know a back way out of Menanche Meadows that's going to bring us down to Kern, to Lake Isabella. And then we're going to end up at my cabin on the way out. And then we end up coming out of Jawbone Canyon, if you're familiar with that. So we'll be back on pavement at the 14 in Jawbone Canyon.
Wow. That sounds very cool. How many days is that trip?
It's 4 days.
Wow, that's a lot to cover in 4 days.
Yeah, it is.
900 miles? Yeah.
It is. Well, it's 3 nights, 4 days. So last year we did 900 miles in 3 nights, 4 days. We went through all of Death Valley into Nevada, back in the Death Valley. Then we went there. Have you guys heard of Cerro Gordo, the ghost town?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I think Jose got raped there once.
Yeah.
Every time he goes to a ghost town, somehow
Yeesh.
something happens in his tent. It's super awkward.
It wasn't once.
it's a ghost, right?
It was a ghost that raped him, so
Yes.
that's okay.
He got slimed.
Oh man. I think my mom's listening. Come on.
Self high five. Sorry, Mom.
So we ended up going the back way up to Cerro Gordo, which if you've ever been that way, I don't think hardly anyone goes that way because it was
Jose
crazy. Spend the night in Cerro Gordo, and then we come back down through kind of the backside of Trona. So that was 500 miles pure off road, 900 miles total loop.
Jeez,
That was last year.
Damn.
that's a lot.
So we went from 110 degrees to 29 degrees.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, all of us learned a lesson on that 29-degree night because when we were heading to Death Valley, we all pretty much thought it's going to be hot. Bring some cold clothes just in case. But lesson learned, man.
Yeah,
when it got to 29 at night, we all froze.
Yeah, it's cold.
That's miserable. That's put the sleeping bag in the truck and turn the truck on type of night right there. If you don't have the appropriate gear for that. How long does it take you to plan this out? Like, when did you start planning this 900-mile trip?
About 3 or 4 months before we go, I sit down with John and Mike Bingham. Just real quick on Mike Bingham. He started working at Cabe Toyota when he was 14. Mm-hmm. He's been there over 40 years. Mm-hmm. And he's our old school. He's our FJ60 guy.
Yes.
This guy, his daily driver is an FJ60.
Yes.
His son's daily driver
has
is
one,
an
and
FJ60.
they're clean. They are super clean.
And that's what they bring on our Cabe Adventures. That's their ride. But Mike's a very good mechanic. He's not a mechanic at the dealership. He's a manager.
Yeah.
But he's a very good mechanic, very good parts background. He shares lots of input as far as our builds and everything. So I just want to bring Mike into this whole thing.
So when you're planning this out, you have to take into account that you could do the 900 miles in 3 days, but since you've got the FJ60s with you, you've got to add that extra day.
and this year we have a 1986 4Runner joining our group too.
Nice.
So we have an 86-ish FJ60 and a 1986 4Runner by my friend Christian. So
that 4Runner is super clean. So
you saw it, yeah.
I did.
Does it have the 3-point slow in it?
Yeah.
Cody probably knows. It's a 6-cylinder, but I don't know.
But it ain't winning.
My son has a 91, which is like the same gen, but it's the 3.0, and it's a dog.
Yeah, that was when last year when the we did the Toyota Fest, and I took Jose's I'll call it cruiser.
It's a Land Cruiser.
I know, but I was going to call it a piece of shit, and then I thought that was mean. So, but when I took Jose's cruiser, and it was super cool because we met at the Cabe Toyota dealership in the morning, and like I pulled up and I felt cool in my 90-something 80 series, right? And then the 260 series pulls up, and then the 86 4Runner, and I was like, this is really cool. Like on the trip from the dealership to the event was like a whole row of classic Toyotas that was just super cool, man. You guys do a great job with that event.
And it's fun. It's fun to bring on those classics. And to get off subject a little bit, I want to do a Cabe Adventure classic. So I'm going to plan a trip where I'm going to call it a classic, even though it doesn't sound, you guys all look, we're all probably the same age-ish, but, 1990 and older. Like
27.
Yeah. You've got chin hair that's more than 27 years old, Casey.
I'm 44.
When I get carded sometimes, I think, are you serious? If I look like this, I wasn't even 21. I wouldn't even go outside.
What are you buying that you're being carded?
Yeah.
Is there another level of alcohol that I'm not aware of?
I'm telling you, I've been carded at places.
Viagra.
Yeah. No, they just hand that out. They just kick it down. I just show up and people go, "Here's some Viagra."
You look like you need this.
Hey.
I think that would be a very cool event. An all classic truck run, all leaf spring run.
What would the cutoff year be?
1990. So I want to say 1990 is in, and then older from there.
Oh.
And I probably wouldn't put together 900 miles. I'd probably maybe do 400 or 500.
No.
40 or 50. Just run it out to the Inland Empire and then come back.
Yeah. That's awesome. So now to add to all of the Cabe Adventure builds and then the Cabe Adventure trips, we're now opening the Cabe Adventure store. So going back to end of last year, there was a bunch of conversations and eventually you guys pulled the trigger and talked to me about that piece of it, about like what your experience has been ramping up and getting that store built and then getting able to start now launching it.
So we tried to do all of this 5 or 6 years ago. We tried to build a little store and kind of like start to separate, keep it together, but at the same time, like be our own thing. Right. Mm-hmm. It wasn't till we really committed. Iron Man reached out to us. Well, actually what happened was,
and by Iron Man, you mean me.
You. Well,
I think I was the first one to come in and say, "Let's do this."
You were the reason for sure for the showroom.
Yeah.
The way I got hooked up with Iron Man was, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. So in 2019 and 2020, when the pandemic hit, supply chain dried up.
Yeah.
So we were, like I said, I was doing these builds already for the showroom. And we were using like 6112, Bilstein 6112s. We were just kind of going middle of the road stuff. We weren't really going Kings or anything too crazy. We would do Icon, some Dobson, we kind of experiment with different things. And supply chain was so bad. And then I started doing research about Iron Man, which was relatively new to the States in 2019.
2019 is when they started in the States. Yeah.
So I reached out to them and they said, "Hey, we got product." I said, "Well, let me try it out, So I put some product on some vehicles. I put it on my personal vehicle, my brother's vehicle. I put it on guys that work at the store's vehicle, and we went out and we took these on our Cabe Adventure trips. And we thought, man, this stuff's all right. It's not, it has its place, right? I think it's really tough stuff. The quality is really good. It works for the application that we use it for. Obviously, if you're building rigs for rock crawling, it doesn't work. Or if you're building a rig for maybe like high speed, Baja whoop sections, that might not be. But for your weekend warriors and stuff, so I'm pretty happy with their product. And then a couple years go by. So that was I think I came in at 2020 with them, built a relationship, sampled a lot of products, was pretty happy with it. We still have other products we carry. We're not just only Iron Man. Mm-hmm. And then you came into the picture with pitching us on the idea of kind of this what'd you call it? Well, I forgot
the outpost. We started with
outpost.
So the if you go into when you go into their dealership, You walk in the front door. To the right, there's this raised area that was just perfectly not being used for anything. Like it was the perfect size, and it was not. It was like some old desks there and some wheels that they weren't even selling, like just random, like. And I just thought to myself, we can make use of that space, and so we started having conversations about that, and it took a little while to make it happen, but eventually, we built out that entire space to be an outpost in the center. And then basically retail wall all the way around on that whole mezzanine.
Yeah, so Cody, he came in like guns blazing, man. Like the guy, the design, the execution. He got the guys fabricating the displays. So it's not a big space, but they really optimized the whole entire space we had. So we got a bitchin' display now that showcases a bunch of different products. It's kind of unique because most people would do this in their parts department, but we actually did this in our sales department. So the people walking in buying the new car, we actually wanted to more target them. Like, hey, you just bought this Tacoma. This is one that's already fixed up, or this is stuff we offer. So we're kind of doing it in an ethical way that most shops probably wouldn't do, because most people would have it in their parts department.
Yeah.
So it's different, but it turned out really nice. Cody did a great job. And yeah, so from there, so that, when did we finish that, Cody?
November. I think it was right around November. Yeah, I think it was right before Thanksgiving. It was like the week before Thanksgiving.
So we finished the shop, and then to really make this work, we needed somebody to be there to run the actual Cabe Adventure Center. We'll just call it the Cabe Adventure Center. So product knowledge, someone that's there during store hours. So that's when we found this guy Joji, which Cody knows Joji,
and he's in the chat room. Hi, Joji.
So Joji has been saving grace. He's got a JDM background. He's a car guy. He's deeply rooted in the Toyota world. Off-roading is kind of new to him, but he's very good with product, communication, inventory sales. So yeah, we brought Joji in, and he's kind of like the catalyst now that's helping everything come together. So I handle organizing and doing all the installs and making sure the builds are done right. John, he handles writing us checks and paying all the bills, and then Joji, he handles collecting the money. So and keeping us organized. So Joji's been a huge asset. So finally now, between Mike Bingham, John, Joji, and me, we have a pretty solid team where we can accomplish stuff. We're getting builds done, timely fashions. Customers are stoked. Now it's more like, okay, we're ready actually to take on more work. Mm-hmm. So that's where we reached out to Cody and we said, hey, we're gonna do like an official grand opening, because we never really did an opening. We just kind of like started doing business.
Yeah.
Which not too many people know.
Which I think is a good thing, though, like, because you guys have had the chance over the last couple months to work out the kinks, to get a little bit. Joji's been really good at going through and finding out, well, I don't have the information I need for this, let me go get that. Like, as opposed to putting the last screw in the wall on a Friday and a grand opening on Saturday. You guys have had a chance to kind of play with it and see how it works. So I feel really, really good about that. And again, that's going to be July 9th at the Cabe Toyota location in Long Beach. It's on Long Beach Boulevard, right off the 405 freeway, from 8 to noon.
When you were describing like putting in that last screw on a Friday, were you describing your truck, the assembly of your Ranger? Is that where you were drawing your experience from?
My truck's going to need some new screws in a minute. You'll hear.
Uh-oh. No, Cody, poor Cody, we can't invite him on our Cabe Adventure because he has a Ford. And John Cabe's rule is, hey, we'll work on your Ford, but if you want to go off-roading on our Cabe Adventure trip, you got to have a Toyota.
I know.
So I guess that puts me, Jose, and Casey out.
Jose can go.
I can go.
Oh, that's right, Jose. I'm sorry. Can you go 900 miles, dude?
I'm your token. I drove to Texas and back. I'll be all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm your token Toyota guy.
What do you have?
94 Land Cruiser.
Oh, man, you just missed the vintage.
Hey, technically, it's 25 years and older. It's vintage.
Yeah.
Okay, we might make an exception. Cody can ride with you.
Yeah. Well, at the last Cabe Adventure,
I'll take Ben's 4Runner.
At the last Cabe Adventure,
cool.
I had a conversation with him about taking his on that. I just couldn't do it.
I'm not going on it. Not without that AC functioning. 100%.
It works.
It's
okay, just by the way, Death Valley, 110 degrees. Mike
yeah.
Bingham and his son in the FJ Cruiser, no air conditioning.
Oh my God.
Man. And I'm pretty sure when we're going up the steep grades, they had to turn the heater on to keep that engine from overheating.
I know about
Those
that.
guys, and guess what?
I know about that.
They're right there ready for next week, man, with the FJ60.
Jeez.
I know about that heater turn on.
Oh yeah, this is more.
I used to do it in the Jeeps.
displacement
Yeah, I used to do it in the Jeeps all the time. Roll down the windows, guys. Heater's going on.
My Oldsmobile Broham I had, the heater was on nonstop.
Well, if you just topped off the fluids, it probably would have helped. But I don't know. Maybe you weren't aware of that at that time.
Don't know. So
there was fluids.
So again, from 8 to noon, we're going to do the grand opening. The address is 2849 Long Beach Boulevard in Long Beach, California. We're going to do some raffles, giveaways, random shenanigans. There's going to be some coffee and donuts or something like that. We're trying to pressure Brad into getting a couple vehicles built to put on display, ready to be purchased by people that attend. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
No, we will. Yeah. I'll have some. I'll have a vehicle or two.
That's good. And we'll be there. Trail Chaser team will be there, emceeing, talking about hot dog broth and all the normal things that you usually get from us on these types of events. That's
about as innocent as we get it. Is our hot dog broth talk?
Hot dog broth.
Everything else
talk.
could be like, who knows?
Yes. As far
because that sounds disgusting.
It does. It's like,
but it's not.
You don't even know what it means, but you're like, ooh, none of that sounds good.
Do I want that?
Let's not put those three words together. So the rest of the Cabe team, as the Cabe Adventure store has been built out and there's starting to be some activity there, has the rest of the Cabe team kind of like, hey, what's going on over here in this corner of the building, and what's going on there?
I'd say sales was super confused about what we're doing. It's kind of funny now that if you walk in, just about every salesperson has a Cabe Adventure sweater or shirt on now. So they're loving it. And I think where it plays is, when you tell a salesperson, hey, we're going to take one of your units away, that's an easy sell. Because right now, a Tacoma or a 4Runner is going to sell regardless, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're pulling a unit away, we're fixing it up, and now they got to ask more money for it, right? So I think at first there was a lot of concern there, but when they see these people come in and they will skip over the stock one to buy the Cabe Adventure one, and they're so stoked about it, it just changes the whole dynamic. It's just fun, Mm-hmm. So instead of selling a car and the person's all stressed out, now they're all stoked and talking about tires and suspension and stuff. So it kind of changes the whole dynamic. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely more and more people around the dealership are getting amped on it.
Mm-hmm. And I think we've had these conversations. Many of the people coming into a Toyota dealership to buy a Tacoma, Tundra, 4Runner, RAV4, those 4 models specifically, are going to drive away and then buy stuff to put onto the vehicle, right? Mm-hmm. And they're buying it from random places here and random places there. Whereas, you're giving them the opportunity to buy that stuff at the time and then also work with the dealership they're purchasing the vehicle from to get it installed and get it taken care of correctly and all of those things. It's much more of a holistic purchase for them. And then as we all know, with off-road vehicles, it's never a done project. So as you need more stuff, you're going back to the dealership where you bought the car from. So I think from like a customer engagement perspective, it gives you guys the opportunity to really watch someone buy that Tacoma and build it up over time to be an actual Cabe Adventure vehicle.
Yeah. And
sorry to cut you off there.
Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I've always understood it, Dave, if you have the dealership do all that stuff for you, then your warranty stays the same. Like everything stays covered. Like it doesn't void the warranty because the dealer
Don't say the W word.
has touched it.
So what we do at Cabe Toyota, if we work on your car, so if we put a Cabe Adventure on there, we're going to do the factory match warranty. Yeah. So if you have a problem with that aftermarket shock, bring it back to us. We're going to take care of you, along with implementing the Toyota warranty. So the other thing to note on what you were saying, Cody, about convenience too is some people, trucks are expensive. Tacoma's $40,000. So you buy a Tacoma, you want to do wheels, tires, and a lift, then you got to go to, 4-wheel parts. I hate to say that, or whoever. And then you're coughing up that much more cash or putting it on your credit card, where if you do it at the time of purchase, which is cool, is then it gets financed into the vehicle at maybe 2.9 or whatever the interest rate is, instead of having to throw it on a credit card that's 20%.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you don't have to, it just takes the sting out of it. And then you're driving off and it's like 80% done. You can always add to it, but you got your core, you got your suspension, you got some sick wheels and tires,
bumpers,
and then from there,
lights, whatever you want to do. And you're right. Like you can almost sit there and just, instead of saying I'm going to spend X amount of dollars on suspension, you're like, okay, this suspension is $25 a month. Click. This bumper is $15 a month. Click. You know what I mean? And so, and to your point, credit cards are definitely not the same percentage rate as the financing on a new vehicle. No. And if you're going to do that stuff anyways, why not get it from you guys right up front?
Yep. Yeah, and then you don't have to. Yeah, and then you don't have to worry about and then we'll back that warranty up, So it's done. It's under one umbrella payment at a low interest rate. If you have problems, you know where to find us. We've been there since 1966. So it's unique. There's not a lot of dealerships doing what we do. There are dealerships that have trucks they fix up. That's common. A lot of times they just sub it out to a third party. And Cody, as you probably know, you go to any dealership with a fixed-up truck, it's probably got a Pro Comp spacer on the front, right? Mm-hmm.
And it's an extra $12,000 for a $300 leveling kit.
Yeah, you get a clear cup holder or a door handle seal covers.
Yep.
And a spacer, and it's $10,000 markup. So. We really, I would be lying to say we've never done spacers. Originally, when we were experimenting, we were doing just leveling kits like that, but we really have veered away from installing anything that we personally don't like. Mm-hmm. And that's what's cool about me, Mike, being John Cabe, and Joji sitting down, is we the four of us get to make the decisions. Mm-hmm. I go, hey, this thing sucks. Like, I wouldn't put that on my car. Why do we want to put that on a customer's car? And on the flip side, someone might go, oh, well, there's more profit and it's cheaper, but we don't care. Like, I want to put something on there that's dope. And that if I invite them on our Cabe Adventure trip, guess what? If they break down, guess who everyone's screaming at?
Yeah, exactly. Okay? And I think that's the big part of it is, yes, you could make more margin on those puck lifts and all that stuff. But you're not giving, when you sell that fixed up truck, you are selling something to the customer that says, this is a Cape. Look at how cool this is. You can go do these things, right? I don't know that they can in some of those other instances, right? But you're outfitting it in a way where you have the confidence that if you drove it off the lot, you could go wheeling with it and it's going to be stable, right? I mean, and I think
and we will invite them on our 900-mile trip.
Yes.
And like I said, if they break down, everyone's going to be mad at this guy.
Well, see, look, if any of us break down, we just point at Casey, even though he had nothing to do with any of our vehicles. We'd be like, actually, I take it back. He did install my suspension, so it is his fault. So that
I installed everybody's suspension here.
Yes, you did.
You need a job, Casey? I'm looking for help.
Okay, we could talk.
Yeah, that's a long commute from Big Bear.
Yeah.
That sounds like money to me, Casey.
I'm going to have to get a Tesla.
You will save money. You will save money. So when does that 900-mile trip start?
We're leaving on the 22nd next Thursday, so it's crunch time now.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. The issue I'm running into is I'm getting a lot of last minute phone calls and texts from people going like, "Hey, can we get this done real quick? Can you adjust this real quick? Or can I rack my truck and just make sure so I'm getting people that are waiting till the last minute till to do some things. I'm going, man, we're out of time. So
that sounds like our kind of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I'm confident everything will be okay.
And then how many people are going on the trip?
We have 15 vehicles. And in some of those vehicles, we have 2 passengers. So we're probably going to have over 20 people on the trip.
That's going to be that's a perfect size. Like 15 is a great size for a trip like that. Are you guys all set up with comms in those old ass trucks?
Yeah. So me and my brother and a handful of our buddies, we all have our ham radio license. We're nerds. So I'm that Bofang guy I got probably 12 at my house, all pre-programmed with our private channels.
I love it.
Yeah, so what happens is when these guys show up, the guys that don't have comms, I hand everyone a Bofang. Dude, it's all pre-programmed. This is what channel you're on.
Yes. I did this 1 year for Christmas. I just asked for the Bofang radios, and I got like 9 of them. And I did the same thing. All right, here you go.
And I think I have 7
I'm
of them
down
now,
I'm down to like 3
every time I
now.
go on wheels, I'm like, can I get one of those radios?
Just on our last trip this weekend, I was like, I think I only have 3 radios left. How did that happen?
But who here has their ham radio license?
None of us.
Shame.
I know.
Well, we reprogrammed them for FRS.
Yeah. Yeah, they're on the FRS system, so it's not
GMR.
I have a ham sandwich license.
I'm just messing with you.
I definitely want to get my ham radio license, and then
go for your degree.
I should. And then I want to. We've got an event coming up in September that's going to be kind of critical for communication. So I want to upgrade from because I've got like the cheapest handheld one they make to like a base unit in the truck.
Yeah, there was parts of the trip this weekend I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. So that's definitely something we need to work on.
So there's a company called Yasu.
Mm-hmm.
They make really high quality units for your vehicle. So in my personal truck, and my brothers and my buddies that have their ham radio license, it's YAUSEU, I think. Yasu.
I always pronounced it Yasu.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, their stuff. They're not cheap, but they're not totally expensive. They have a lot of features. You can program them. We've been using those for years, and they're 50, 75 watts. So basically, what happens is say I'll be in the front with my Yasu, and my brother will be in the back, say 15 cars back, which could be a couple of miles.
Yeah,
we can talk to each other, no problem. But what happens is the guys with the handhelds, I can pick up these guys, and my brother can, but the guys back here with the handhelds can't.
Yeah.
So what happens is me and my brother relay to them what's going on.
Yeah.
So having the mobile unit that's like 50 watts, 75 watts in your truck is a game changer.
Yeah, and Betty White says that he has the white Yaesu FT65. If Betty White has it, then it's what we should get. Like it's what did you say, Jose? He's like the Overland poster child.
Oh yeah, like you look at his truck and you're like, oh yeah, he shopped at the Overland warehouse.
And Shy has the FTM 300, and we always can hear Shy on the trips. And we did a trip with 20 vehicles on the Mojave, and we were like 7 miles apart at one point. Same thing. Like from the front, I could talk to maybe 4 vehicles behind me, and then they had to relay and so we definitely need to do something better.
You can go, I mean, with your truck rig, you literally can, if everything's right, I mean, you could go 50 miles.
Wow.
If you get into ham radios and you really nerd out, you learn how to bounce your signal, where honestly, from my handheld, I've talked in Torrance, California, from my handheld, 5 watts, I was able to bounce the signal, and I talked to people in Europe.
Oh, wow.
So...
Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy what you can do.
They were in San Fernando Valley, and they just said they were.
Do you want to hear something even crazier? Yes. I actually even talked to. You're not going to believe me.
Don't do it.
Aliens. You talk to someone on the space station.
Yeah, I talked to a space shuttle orbiting over for 15 minutes until they got out of our
That's
orbit.
the second person that's told us that on this show.
Yeah,
dude, it's a trip, man. And they were like Ukraine or some other, I mean, they had an accent, they spoke English, and we chatted it up. I was like, I can't believe we're talking right now.
It's the dude 3 blocks over. He's like, I am in space station.
yeah, I looked it up, man. It was
space
hilarious.
station he built underground on his mom's basement.
Well, going back to the repeater thing, during King of the Hammers, I was in Johnson Valley, and I happened to be on a frequency that our buddy who has a ham license knew that I would be on. He was up in Big Bear, and he hit me up on the radio in Big Bear using from Big Bear using the repeaters.
Oh, that's the cool thing about, you guys can have your Baofungs and dial in a channel, and it's pretty chill. Like, you're not going to have any problems. But what's cool about having your license is then you can go through the repeaters. If you're operating on a repeater without a license, you're going to catch all types of hell for it. Yeah. People are going to be yelling at you, whatever. But I've taught, from Southern California, I talk to people all over the place going through the repeaters, which is really awesome. And we ride dirt bikes way up in the mountains above the Kern River, and there's no cell service up there, but there's a repeater. So my handheld will not reach my cabin, but my handheld reaches the repeater, no problem. And then my wife or whoever's at base camp, so we communicate through that repeater, and we're talking like that repeater goes hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Wow.
So we always have a good contact there.
Wow. Okay. I'm sold. I definitely
got to step it up.
I need to step up my game. Once I get a job, man, I'm going to get a radio.
And you know what's really nerdy? This is even ultra nerd, but cool. Is when you get your ham radio license, you get a call sign.
Yeah.
So mine's KK6 BFD. Okay.
Come on.
And I didn't get to pick that. But what's even better is you then can have that legally as your license plate for life, and no one can take it. So you can right now register your truck and get the KK. I could get KK6 BFD as my license plate. No questions asked. That is my number.
Wow. That's lucky, dude. That's a lucky call sign right there. How long did it take to get your ham license?
It's just a matter of studying. So there's a test that you have to do in person. So you go online, you do some, cram course tests. You have to learn, some schematics and how to read, different. They basically teach you how to make one from scratch.
Oh, wow.
And you're going to have to answer questions on schematics on how to build resistors and all that stuff, which I'm kind of into anyways. Like, that sounds fun to me. Then you show up and there's like 12 guys in their 90s judging you and berating you if you don't pass. So literally, these guys take it serious, man. It's hilarious.
I've been to a ham radio meeting.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's right. They're like super into this stuff.
You don't joke about it. Like, they would be so mad at me right now.
The questionnaire is like, were you to communicate with Ukrainian astronauts, what would you ask them? Like, oh shit.
No, it's more like, hey, you guys, big news. We can get 2% more range if we adjust our frequency from.
Replace this transistor with a. Betty White is saying that they're all old Vietnam War radio guys.
I was just sitting there.
Totally,
like,
dude.
I was just sitting there. I'm like, what am I doing here?
What were you doing there?
I don't know. It was in Big Bear.
Wow.
You just stumbled into a ham radio class?
That seems very questionable,
Very
Jose. I
suspect.
feel like there's a story there. Yeah.
Sounds like they lured you in there.
It's not like if you said you landed in the Blue Oyster Club one night, like that I would get.
No, it was the barracks.
Oh, okay.
I might have to implement after this conversation Cabe Adventure 2024 ham radio mandatory
requirements.
License.
Yes.
Requirement, man. We gotta just, we have to keep that generation going, dude. These old guys. I mean, once these 90-year-olds are dead, no one's going to be there to host the test.
But then that means,
and it sounds like if you can berate the people that are taking the test,
right.
that sounds like it's our jam. Like it sounds like exactly what we want to do.
We gotta
dude, we have so much
Once
fun.
you're gone, I can go to Big Five and just buy a ham license for $10.
The problem is these guys raise the money to keep the repeaters up and running. Those are all so Newsom wanted to get rid of all the repeaters in California. And repeaters were always they're only Betty White could correct me if I'm wrong because he's probably more knowledgeable than I am. But Cal Fire has always used these repeaters as backup emergency communication. Right, phone lines go down, stuff happens. You got the repeaters. So supposedly Cal Fire goes, hey, we have enough technology. We don't really need to rely on these repeaters. But each repeater is kind of sponsored by a club. And the club is all volunteer, but they keep that repeater in tip-top condition for situations like this. So Newsom then he goes, I'm getting rid of we're getting rid of all the repeaters, because they're on public land or they're on Forest Service or whatever. Well, then you got all these World War II vets lining up with their M1 Grands at that guy's front door, and he changed his mind.
And all these old ham guys are sitting back just waiting. One of these days, the new internet system's gonna go down, and you're gonna be coming to me to try to communicate. And they're just waiting. They're waiting for that day to happen.
I
am. Oh shit, that's funny. Well, look, dude. Like again, you and I have had the chance to hang out a bunch of times. I always enjoy hanging out with you. I'm really excited about what you guys are going to do at the Cabe Adventure store. And how that's going to kind of expand your exposure to people in the Toyota market and in the off-road market and the community, not only just Long Beach, but in the surrounding areas, because you've got this showroom of product that people can go touch and feel and get installed in their vehicle. So don't forget the grand opening of the Cabe Adventure store is July 9th from 8 to noon at Cabe Toyota in Long Beach, California. The Trail Chaser team will be there. So please come out and support Brad and Joji and Mike and John, the Cabe Adventure team that's putting this together. It'd be huge for us. And I really appreciate your time, man. Is there anything else you wanna talk about or like let the people know before we give you your night back?
Yeah, I'm just stoked. We're super pumped. It's all about the community. We have so much fun hanging out with like-minded people. That's where this all started. I mean, it's a Toyota dealership. They make money. We don't need to do this, but man, it's fun.
Yeah.
We're having a blast and doing this with guys like Mike Bingham, Joji, and like John. John, he's like my best friend. It's so fun doing something that with him and we have in common. And like, honestly, it's like, it makes money, but that's not the important part. Like we're just having a good time doing what we want to do. People pick up their trucks. They're super stoked. We get to have good conversations, meet the community. So, I just want to say thank you to anyone that shows up. Thank you for letting us come on here. We're just super pumped on the whole vibe and, getting to meet and to know everybody.
Yeah, I am way excited about this. It's going to be, I think the 9th is going to be a lot of fun too. And come out and meet the other guys that we're talking about because they're all very cool to hang out with. So we will see you. I'm sure I'll talk to you between now and then, but for sure we'll see you on July 9th at the event. And until then, man, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was great. Thanks, guys, too. It's nice meeting the Casey, Jose, and Matt.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You'll have someone to yell at.
Even me?
Yes, even you.
My bearded brother.
Bro. All right, man. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, man. We'll end it there. I'll clip this all together. That was great, Brad. Very good conversation, man. I appreciate it. I am legitimately excited about doing this event on the 9th. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've got a couple of things for that you and I could talk about probably next week. Getting ramped up for it. I've been back and forth with Joji on some things, so I'll continue communicating with him and you as we get closer. And then we'll pull this together and have a awesome grand opening for you next month.
Yeah, I think we have over. I mean, you probably saw the list too. We have, I think, over 20 vendors. So
Yeah.
it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty freaking awesome. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's 8 to 12, which is a short window, which is cool. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't even know. I mean, I'm already imagining like this. I think we're going to have such a big turnout. It's probably going to go, late, but we'll see. But whatever, you know.
Yeah. The one thing that I feel like we need to make sure we figure out is where's everybody going to park? So that's one thing Joji and I had some conversation about the other day about like, let's, making sure we have signage for everybody and where to park and what's going on.
The other events we've done there, we have managed to facilitate 300, 400 people. This probably will be bigger, but we never took the sales department into it. So now we're going to have all a service across the street at the hospital. And then now we're going to get a bunch of sales.
Yeah.
And we're going to have, so we'll go into detail about that. But I think, 400 or 500 people at one time, we're going to be okay with. I mean, if there's more than that, I don't know. But
I hope there's more. We're going to get you more. Okay, I will edit this tomorrow. I'll get it all packaged up for you. I will email you tomorrow once it gets loaded to the media host, and it'll be ready for download on Thursday morning.
Cool.
And then we'll go from there. Like I said, I'm sure we'll be talking more between now and then, now in the event. But I'll send this email out to you tomorrow once it's all ready to go, and then we'll start promoting it. We'll start promoting the show and the event starting next week, or starting this week, end of this week.
Cool, man. Thanks, Cody. I appreciate all you guys' hard work.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.
All right, dude. Talk to you guys. Yeah.
All right. Anybody need a break?
See.
We'll give Matt a break and catch up. Industry Bro is going to park at Brad's garage. That's where I was planning on parking, but
Who is that?
I don't know.
I think it's one of his coworkers.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's probably one of the guys from the
industry.
One of the guys from the.
He's one of the guys in the industry.
Thanks, Joji.
He's the brother of the industry.
Joji's going to be at the event. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, he works there.
Yep.
I would hope he's there.
Yep. He better be there. Oh, he's Industry Bro is one of Brad's buddies. What's the dumbest things Brad's ever done?
He's like, how much time do you
got? Too bad he's not on anymore.
I can't say it on online.
He's on this one time in Tijuana.
He ended up in a ham radio class.
Yeah.
Oyster Azul.
Yeah.
He says there's no time. That's funny. Industry Bro, are you going to be at the grand opening on the 9th? Anybody else in the chat room planning on coming down? Shy.
Sounds like Mark's down to go if they have full-size parking spots.
They do. They will have full-size parking spots. I'm sure Shy will come out.
Maybe Mark can drive away in a Tundra.
Yeah, Mark will be down there. Betty White's going to come down all the way from Fresno or whether Bakersfield, wherever he's at.
Is he coming?
No, he's no.
Horse trainer says he's going to be there.
Is it horse?
He's
yeah,
not.
horse trainers. He's also in Northern California.
I mean, it's not impossible, but he said it on there. I'm not.
I thought he was
Like,
in like
I'm not making the decision for him.
Midwest, no?
Horse trainer, for some reason, I thought he was.
Or was that horse trainer 9?
Yeah, horse trainer 9 is in Iowa. Horse trainer 10.
Shy's not even in the country.
Bullshit, Shy. I don't know what you got going on in the country, but it can't be this important.
He's on a mission right now.
Yeah,
somewhere.
He's on a State Department mission.
He's on a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, Betty White's in Modesto. See, I told you. It was a Fresno or some shit. Yeah.
No, I thought Betty White was in Washington.
He just said he's from Modesto.
No, he's from Modesto.
No, he's in California.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. Okay, horse trainer is in Indiana.
Oh, you see?
Let's see.
Attaboy, Shy.
Blowing up his spot right now.
Shy is wanting us to keep quiet. All right, we're
He's
ready.
He's got that homing beacon on his arm.
I know.
It's going crazy right now because we're talking about him.
Yep.
It's for his diabetes.
Industry Bro's going to go on that 900-mile trip. That'll be interesting. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, thanks to Brad for joining us. And again, we're looking forward to the grand opening event on July 9th at Cabe Toyota. So this weekend we did a thing. Well, I mean, 3 of us here did a thing. We went out to
maybe I did something too.
I don't know, but you didn't do the.
Yeah, I mean, he did something. I was behind him on the freaking 18.
Oh my god! Somewhere. So let's talk about that. Like Casey's been throwing up some stuff on Instagram, and thank you for doing that. But he posted a video, a short video of him being stuck behind a Tesla, and he was making fun of Matt while he was doing it. And dag blurn it,
you'll never get stuck behind my Tesla.
Dag blurn it, if that's
ever.
There should be no reason to be stuck behind a Tesla ever, because they're fast vehicles.
He was going so. I didn't even know that those things could go that slow.
But he was regenning.
Dove down the whole entire mountain.
He was trying to save energy.
I was in second gear on the brakes. By the time we got to the bottom, I had no fucking brakes because I was on him the whole time.
Yeah, Casey, there's been
You showed him.
Yeah.
He posted it, and it immediately blew up. Both good and bad comments. There's basically a dude on there that told.
Is he hot?
No, he said that.
No, but
Casey's a dumb driver.
He's got gift cards to hand out. So if you go and find that post, go and message that dude and ask him for a gift card. He'll send you.
Yeah, he does have gift cards. My understanding. Yeah, but that was fun. And then we got down to Joshua Tree on Saturday night. I was out in Huntington, and I had to make the drive from Huntington to Joshua Tree.
Mission, dude.
That was a good time. And then so we got there, and weather was decent at night. It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't too cold. Yeah, I felt it was great. And then woke up in the morning on Saturday, and I remember laying there hearing thunder. Hearing the crashes of thunder and thinking, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, oh, crashes of thunder. Oh, okay, cool. And then not being smart enough to put 2 and 2 together to recognize that crashes of thunder are going to be followed by something else. And all of a sudden, it was like, Thor. All of a sudden, it was like, bah, bah, bah. I was like, oh, shit, is it raining? And Casey's like, it's hailing. I'm like, oh, damn it. So I start breaking down my tent, and I'm trying to get everything. I'm like, I'm going to close the tent before this gets too bad. By the time I was able to get everything kind of gathered and get some clothes on to get out of the tent, it was dumping. So I just like, fuck it, I'll close it down later. Put my jacket on, walked over to the awning where everybody was hanging out, and just hung out on the awning, and it was hailing. Like good-sized, marble-sized hail. And then the hail went away, and then it rained pretty good for a little while, and then it kind of died down. And I was like, all right, well, I got to go break down the tent now, close the tent. Well, in my haste to take everything apart, I took the center pole that props up the center of the tent off. And so the center of the tent had filled up with water, and it just started dripping through the top of the tent onto the mattress. And it was like, I'm like, you fucking kidding me. So,
you know, it's funny talking about hail and what have you, just really quick. Like my neighbor bought a car. It was probably like 5 or 6 years ago. He buys this like relatively new. I think it's like a Sentra or something, but it looked like it just like he pissed off his girlfriend and she just went to town on it and just beat the shit out of it with a bat. And I was telling people at work like, I don't know if my neighbor did it, but his girlfriend just beat the shit out of his brand new, relatively new Sentra or whatever. And then I talked to him. He's like, no, I bought this used. It was totaled in a hailstorm back east.
Yeah. Holy shit.
But it looks like the hail must have been the size of like baseballs
Yeah.
or softballs. Those are the size of the dents.
Yeah.
So literally they replaced the windshield, like all the windows,
Yeah.
and then just sold it as a total.
My buddy was stationed in San Antonio, and they got one of those hailstorms with baseball size. And he said the entire barracks were standing at the windows waiting to see whose car was next. And it was just like boom, 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 boom. Crash, and they'd be like, "Yeah, who's that?" And like, he said they just watched an entire parking lot of vehicles get demolished.
Well, when we got out there, it was cloudy. I was like, it looks like we're gonna rain. But after a couple hours around the campfire, it was just clear skies, and I was like, I think I could take that rain fly off because it was like
Oh,
warm.
that's right.
Cody,
I was like, I think I'm gonna take the rain fly off, and that way it'll help the tent breathe. It'll be a little cooler maybe in there. So I took that off, but it still held up good to the rain. It's like, well, I'm glad I took that off and it rained, you know?
Mm.
Cody, your Achilles or your shoulder surgeries didn't give you any inkling
Oh,
of the rain coming?
Didn't
You know,
get
that's
any
a good
like,
that's a good point. I didn't.
my Achilles is acting up.
Yeah,
None of my extremities went numb or tingly.
They
So
weren't, they
Well,
didn't
he was asleep, so he didn't
Yeah.
notice.
Is
Yeah.
that what it is? They go tingly, and then you know, like something's
Yeah,
about- like what happens if
my
if an
spider tingle.
if an earthquake's about to happen? Is it like a sharp pain somewhere, or
I usually
just
get indigestion.
Maybe it feels good. Like, ooh,
Well, I
think we're
woke
gonna-
up at
I
5.
think
I either
due
got
for
a
an
shit
earthquake.
or there's about to be an earthquake.
I woke up at 5 and nobody was up, and then I was just like, I might as well just go back to sleep. And I woke up to the hail. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it was not fantastic. I will tell you that much.
But that's
thought it
it.
was
Like
great.
it no
Nice and
damage
cool.
to any of your stuff. Like it
Well,
didn't
not
tear
from
up
the
anything.
hail.
No, not yet. I mean, the bunch of
Oh.
stuff got wet, but it wasn't. It didn't
Cody
last.
had a rough weekend.
Yeah. We'll talk about that at the end of the conversation. So then,
Why wait? There's better stuff.
yeah, oh yeah, better stuff. So much better.
Oh man.
So then we take off. We had done like multiple versions of what we thought this run was going to be, and like we said, this was a pre-run for something we're doing in September. And I've never wheeled in Joshua Tree. I've been up
Yeah,
there,
these are fucking dirt roads,
but
right?
it's and and I will tell you, man, like
Go on.
Thankfully,
Tell us.
Joey D was there, right? Joey D has a lot
Yeah.
of experience up there. Him and Nicole have been up there a bunch of times. Jose's been there, but like just his knowledge of like looking at the map that I had mapped out and knowing where to go, he had a lot of good input on routes.
Yeah, I mean, he has probably more input on routes. Even places you've been.
Yeah.
he probably has more knowledge on routes than
I'm
you,
just saying
you know.
he's
Yeah.
great. He's a great
and
asset.
that's not a. I mean, I'm trying to knock you, but Joey is. He's pretty good.
I don't need you.
It
to
was-
knock
it
me.
was
I'm,
not
I'm
what
an
I
unemployed
expected
loser.
at
I don't
all.
need any more help, dude.
All right, I'm sorry.
So we ended up doing about 30 miles over 4.5 hours, and we saw some cool stuff. Like the trails that we did, the first section of trail that we did on Doberman Mine Road was very much reminded me of Vampire Mine Road that we did in Parker. Very rocky, very narrow
What do you
shelf.
mean very rocky? It was only rocks.
It was
It
only
was
rock.
only shale rock.
Yeah, it was just rock as far as you could see. Like, it was pretty awesome. And then there's a little set of sand dunes. We got to these sand dunes to play, and it was very cool, like a very cool little sand dune area.
Fuck the sand.
Yeah, Jose didn't like that. Throughout the
What
course,
did Jose drive?
We got a camp there.
cruiser.
Oh, you drove the cruiser. Okay.
And then we got to see a handful of different like mine sites.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
What determines what you're going to wheel? What is the determining factor? Like, it's going to be hot. I need the AC. I'm taking the Frontier. Or, hey.
It's trail difficulty, I think, for sure right now.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I knew we were going to get into some pretty crazy shit, so I was like, I don't need to take the Frontier.
Because you don't want to ruin the Frontier, or you... Okay.
Not that it can't do it. It's just not equipped enough yet.
But you have the Cruiser. Why do it if you've got the Cruiser?
Yeah, beat the shit out of that thing.
So out there in Joshua Tree, there's a ton of mining sites. And we didn't even stop at all the ones we drove by, but there's a ton of abandoned mining sites and cabins and mine shafts and all kinds of cool stuff out there.
Big shafts out there.
Yes.
Real big shafts.
Those are the clubs that are out there?
Yes.
The mine shaft.
Yes.
Big shafts, lots of bees.
There was a big yes. We ran into this one spot where it was a I would say fairly recent mining site. Joey said that it was like 1980s is when it finally shut down. And we were like, oh, this is super cool. Wide open area. We stopped, started making some lunch. Next thing you know, there's a couple bees there. Then there's a couple more bees there. And all of a sudden, the bees...
You guys had to skate or die?
Yes. It was 100% skate or die. So Casey...
Nice.
Good pull, by the way. Very good pull.
Yeah, skate
or die. Like, if you don't know skate or die, dude, go back and search that. I bet there's some great videos. So Casey had to, we started closing things up. I had to like hold on to Rain and throw him in the car seat to make sure he didn't get stung by a bee. And then Casey had to drive away with the awning out to try to get away from the bees.
Oh my God.
And
there's a lot of bees, dude.
So my awning was up in the rain.
Yes.
And then we got there, we're like, oh, we'll make lunch. It's hot as shit. So I opened the awning up for some shade. And I think like the little canvas straps and things like that were still holding moisture. And so the bees just...
But they fucking
they were starting
like that.
They were starting a hive on my freaking awning.
And that was the other thing about the weather. Like, it was hailing in the morning.
And then it was like
by
95.
By lunchtime, it was in mid-80s, but it was somehow felt like it was 105. It was like very humid. Weird, humid heat that you don't really experience. And Jose almost tore his awning off.
Yeah, I'm allergic to to fucking bees.
So when Casey drove away,
don't fuck the bees.
When Casey drove away, he ditched some of the bees, but I don't know if you know this. Bees can fly and they can follow. So I had to go over there and take my hat off, and I was swatting bees while he was trying to fold up the awning. It was crazy.
I was trying to drive away, but the strap got caught on the wheel, and almost tore
he started to back up, and Joe saw it, and Joey's like, "Wait!" because he almost pulled his awning right off the truck. I don't. Originally, when we pulled up, we were like, "This would be a good lunch spot." No lunch spot at the bee house. That's not at all happening.
I think you guys were throwing rocks down at their hive at the bottom of that
probably, dude.
Mine.
She dropped one rock, and it was Nicole's fault.
I was dropping a lot of rocks.
Did you?
I held all mine till I got home.
Yeah. So we had lunch, and then went and did a bunch more trails, and we did OK Mine Road, which I don't know. We went back.
It was all right.
It was all right. We went back and forth.
It was decent.
Which of those OK Mine versus Doberman Mine? Which of those do you think was the more difficult trail?
I think Doberman.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Okay.
Because on Doberman, it's the same shit over and over and like, you know what I mean? Like that
and
trail
on an incline, an incline the whole time, yeah.
And then death on your right, and the OK Mine one had like breaks in between where it was just like
and that one was more just you had to be like head on a swivel when you had to go around those just rocks.
Yeah, someone needs to move those rocks. There's a couple of those. Remember Pilot Rock, that one where like you had to get around? Yeah. There was like 3 of those on this trail.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was it muddy and icy at the same time?
No, not this time.
That's what I'm saying. Pilot Rock. That was some of the sketchiest shit I ever did.
Yeah.
If you like shelf roads,
Doberman Mine.
Joshua Tees. Tree's your
spot.
Or Joshua Tees.
Joshua Tees is your jam.
Tease?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. No. Teaz.
Wow. Like I said, you guys must have had a really good time.
No, it's the 90s.
Who's
dude.
Joshua?
It's Teaz.
Oh, really good friend of mine.
So we did all that. We did OK Mine. We did a couple other things, and then so we did, like I said, I think it was 30 miles. I mean, what was click it again? 30 miles in 4.5 hours, and it was that like the whole time I had my phone in my hand and I was making video notes every time there was something. I'm like, okay, at 2 miles. Stay to the left, like
oh wow,
like the
you
whole
were taking notes,
the whole time,
and scheming.
Yeah. So I gotta try to take what we learned from that trip and figure out what we're gonna do in September. And I think that we'll
have to come up with a new plan.
Yeah. Well, so that
what are you gonna do about the bees?
Yeah, though the bees we're gonna stay away from, but
we're gonna drive right the fuck past them.
Yes.
You know what you need is that spray the aerosol spray, like adhesive. That's good on bees.
That's
yes.
fucked up, dude.
No, it was an air conditioning lifesaver, dude.
Exactly.
You would open up a unit and there'd be a wasp hive in there. You just take out your spray adhesive and hit them.
Yeah.
And like when you hit them with bug spray, they still fly away and can do stuff. You hit them with that adhesive, they just go, and they just you just wait. You put that
adhesive on fan and you twist the knob and it's just.
Yep.
It's like you just fan, spray pattern.
They're all stuck there, and you just wait a minute,
down.
and then you knock off the hive thing and toss it on the side of the roof.
You go to jail for doing that now?
What?
You can't kill bees like that, bro.
If they're in a house in like La Mirada, you could do it.
Haven't you seen Bee Movie?
No, you gotta like call someone and get them professionally
I
extracted.
did. I called my boss. And said, I'm about to spray adhesive these bees.
You're like, I called 3M. I need more of this shit.
I need more of this.
No, dude, that is no joke. We're going back a couple years, but no joke. Spray adhesive in the tool bag.
Oh, it was always there.
Yep,
Yeah,
100%. It was the best thing.
For me, it was crawling across attics. You never know. Whatever you run into, you just spray adhesive that shit. It's more cans.
Spray adhesive story. Side note here. Spray adhesive story. You know how?
It's called a tangent.
So spray adhesive nozzle on the top. You're spraying, right? And those nozzles, just like WD-40 or paint, they come off.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies, who are remain nameless, they came off, and so he's like, I got to put this back on. So he takes the nozzle and he's putting it back on the can with the nozzle facing him.
It's the worst.
And so when he puts it on, it shoots into his eye and spray adhesives his eyelid to his eyeball.
Way.
I am not shitting you. I'm going to call him and tell him to listen to this episode. He had to go to urgent care.
So I was going to say, what's the move there? Acetone?
They had to go to urgent care and like over time enough solution to where it could break, and then the tweezers and peel his eyelid off of his eyeball.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
so if you're using spray adhesive,
I just had cataract surgery a couple months ago. I'd rather do that, dude.
Yes.
I would rather go through. Oh my God, that sounds like
if you're playing with adhesive, keep it away from your eyes.
Wow.
Or wear safety glasses.
Yes. Always wear safety glasses.
All right, Cal OSHA.
It was a really fun trip. It felt really good to get some dirt on the tires and to experience that area. I feel like there's more to explore out there.
We didn't even scratch the surface.
But at the same time, there's more to explore out there. But I don't know that there's more off-road trails to explore out there. Like in that area we were in. In all the mapping I did before this and all this research, it's
the park is big.
It's all hiking.
The access to it isn't.
Yes.
Vehicular access isn't that
great.
Yes,
that was the thing that really got to me. Like in trying to plan this, when the group that we're working with is like, yeah, we want to do off roading in Joshua Tree. And I was like, okay, cool. I started looking for trails, and I'm like, okay, well, there's one on this end of the park, and one on this end of the park, and one down here. It's not like Johnson Valley where you can camp and go in any direction, or Big Bear where there's a massive network of trails, or Ocotillo Wells and Anza Borrego. You know what I mean? It's very much like you can do these trails, but to get to them, it's an hour and a half away. Even though you're still in the park, you can get to this one an hour and a half away, but you're still in the park.
Yeah, because initially when we were going to do this, plan this out, I was going to say we come in through Purdue and then drive up through the center of the park, and then drive down to Old Dale, and then come out through Kings Can. But that would have been like a 10-hour day, dude. Yeah. I didn't know we're limited on the time frame either.
And if you go to Joshua Tree, don't automatically expect to see Joshua trees.
Yeah, in the area we were at, there was no trees or Joshua's anywhere.
That John Denver is full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the Eagles too.
How about U2?
No, we didn't see you two either.
U2 has an entire album called Joshua Tree. Come
Yes,
on,
I
guys.
know that they do that, but we
Alright.
didn't see them there.
Look, they suck, all right?
They have like
That's
5
true.
good songs. So I think I'm going to take the information that we came up with and create a new route that will be a little bit easier. We'll probably
There's no easy route though from where the starting point is to that.
if we started at Gold Crown where we came out,
Yes.
we go straight in to the dunes, then do OK Mine, and then back around the other way, back out Gold Crown. I think that we could do that. I think that the only thing is understanding who's going to be on the trail, because if there's any
do you
full
think
size,
Doberman would be easier going the other direction?
Down?
no, I think we avoid Doberman altogether. Just avoid it. I think that if there's any full size trucks on this trip, if there's any one with 32-inch or smaller tires, well, we'll say 31-inch or smaller tires,
31s can do it. It's just
as long as they got skid plates.
They got skid plates.
Speaking of
and
which case, I seriously need to get up to you to get that transfer case skid plate fixed for my truck. There was a couple times this weekend where I was like, "Oh, this is it. I'm done. This is it. It's the truck's gonna stay here." Like that's
I hope Matt's off-road recovery drives this far.
Yep. Anything else you want to talk about for that Joshua Tree run?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I think Casey had this interpretation of Joshua Tree or Joshua Tree National Park. That's like a whole. I don't think a lot of people ever see that part of the park.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
Because they go to like Joshua Tree proper.
yeah, they go to like the road through Joshua Tree and go see like Skull Rock, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then go take shrooms and fucking whatever.
Yep. And there's a ton. There are a
Starting to sound like a good trip.
yeah. Matt's like, I'm ready to go.
Exactly.
There are a
Skull Rock.
There are a ton of hiking trails and
Yeah, you had us going driving through one.
I know my original map was going to take us right through a hiking trail, but that didn't work.
How about we hike that part of the trip?
F you. Because that's one of the conversations about this trip. They're like, well, we're going to try to put together a hiking trip in the morning. And I'm like,
September?
Sweet. It's going to be 110 degrees. And I will be in the air-conditioned car waiting for you to be done with your hike. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to redo my route based on the information we have now, and then try to find out who's going to be on the trail. If there is anybody that falls in those categories that we think can't make it, we will have to redo this and make it much easier.
Just take them to Johnson Valley and say, "Here we are, Joshua Tree."
Well,
That
was part of the
discussion point
conversation,
as
like
well.
because from where the campground is,
It's equidistant to
you
Johnson Valley.
could go straight across the freeway and you're in Landers, like it's
And you can cut in right there at Integratron.
yes. So that was my thought as a option.
Always a big hit, the Integratron.
Yeah, my
We always keep that store open every year. Like
every
Hey,
year.
Matt, why
I
do
blow at least $120 on shit.
yeah. Hey Matt, why do you think the aliens decided to land in Las Vegas in some backyard and not the Integratron?
Yeah, have you seen those guys? They're pretty messed up. They probably just want to have a good time with those dudes. Probably
They're like,
party, you know.
Those weirdos are doing sound baths.
You
over
talking
there.
about
Yeah,
that 8 to 10 foot aliens?
What do you think about that?
It's fake as shit, dude.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it's fake. That's they saw something in the sky. You know that was legit. There's video of like
there's a bunch of rain
comment
video
or whatever,
yeah.
and they went, dude, let's just say like some aliens went in our backyard, and they called 911, and
But why did they black out the body cam footage?
right because there were no aliens to see.
Yeah,
like,
but why would they
that.
block it out?
Because then you could have intrigue and say, yeah,
Maybe there was.
This is where that's how it always goes, dude. It's just like the dude the new whistleblower. Yeah, dude, where's like the video or evidence? I can't disclose that. I gave it to you. Sure you did.
Look, I know
dickhead.
somebody
Yeah,
that's
spoke-
seen them.
Look, I know people, and they told me that it's real, and I believe them. Great. I don't believe you. Show me some evidence. There's never evidence.
What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. I was a top secret clearance,
Do
know,
you
whatever.
physically take
All
the
right.
plans to the engineers?
Yeah. Well,
I was the
no,
janitor.
Well, no, my secretary does.
my
but-
secretary does that.
So the Joshua Tree in September, it's going to be hot. So we got to figure.
Can we somehow coordinate aliens? Because I know aliens, Joshua Tree, Landers, Integratron, like bang, bang, bang. That's the 3 hits on a slot machine right there. Like, let's make that happen. Like, maybe if me and Casey brought out lasers and we intertwined our lasers in the sky and just
Not watching that.
that would call. That would
I'll
call.
bring
Call
out my laser
forth.
for that.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think Betty White's right. He said that Matt just wants to get probed.
Look, I'm looking for any kind of action.
Any kind
these
of
days. I've been married a long time.
Let's be
guys.
honest.
Aliens. I'm not even judgmental. Like, they could be big aliens, small aliens. Hairless,
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm open to. Just sweet talk me. Maybe give me a ride in a
$20
flying
is
saucer.
$20, Betty White.
$20 or 20 whatever alien bucks. I'm
20
not
goobacks.
against
That's what they call their money.
Space rocks. Maybe?
So part of me wishes that I did roll my truck off of OK Mine.
Oh my goodness! What?
So we left Johnson. We left Joshua Tree afternoon, 2:00 ish, right?
Yeah.
And
We were hitting the highway, and Cody says, "You guys good? I'm out of here."
Yeah, everybody's like, I gotta. What time is it? I gotta go. Boom.
yeah. So I was on my way home.
I
trying
mean, you
to-
guys lost me fucking leaving the trailhead.
Well, I said I had to go because I needed to make a spot for some business. I had to stop for some business, and I did. And then after that point, I couldn't get you guys on the radio, so I don't know where you were after that. So
I found you later.
yes, so Jose found me, as did Joey. So on my way home, 60 freeway, Moreno Valley, where it merges on the 91, and everybody slows down.
Dude,
and
but hold on, real quick. Driving through from like Beaumont to Moreno Valley, it does not seem like SoCal. I don't know. It's like a crazy drive. It's very
all the hills and the
yeah. You wouldn't think that's like I'm driving through Moreno Valley.
But let's be honest. Like I am not the most defensive driver.
You mean that narrow canyon?
Yeah.
section
Yeah.
where-
It doesn't
just
seem
after west of the merge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not typically the most defensive driver, and driving home from.
No.
Wait,
Job-
you
Oh,
could have just said I am the least defensive driver. I am a very. Just say I'm a very aggressive driver. Would be the most accurate.
Allegedly.
I have significant
have you
driving
run?
skills.
Have you run people off the road?
So on the way home, get
Dracula.
into
Typically, no.
most days no. Get into the merge. I'm at Moreno Valley where the 60s merge in 91. Everybody's slowing down. I'm in the slow lane, and I'm doing 10, 15 miles an hour. It's slow. Traffic in front of me starts to slow down. I put my foot on the brake. I look in the side view mirror to see if I have space to make a left turn and change lanes. And I see a Mini Cooper zipping up next to me. So I'm like, okay, no, I can't do that. All of my pre-collision alerts start going off in the truck, and by the time I look up, I'm in the back of a Subaru Outback.
What?
So
Oh my
What
God.
the fuck?
So I put my truck into the hatchback of a Subaru, and it happened so fucking quick. And again, like I can drive like a jackass. I can drive distracted. It was the most normal driving conditions in which I've been in a long time. Like just cruising, and I look in my side view mirror, and it was like beep, 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 and I look up, boom, done. So it put a pretty decent dent in because I went right over their bumper into the hatchback of the Subaru. So that wasn't great. And my front bumper is not fantastic. It's pretty done. So I have to.
I can get fixed.
Yeah, so I have to figure out what I'm gonna do. Like it's drivable. Obviously, I drove it home and I've been driving it around. But like backing up and turning, there's a little bit of rubbish that wasn't there before. and the skid plate thing is trashed. So I don't know if a factory bumper is going to go on the front of that or if something else is going to go on it.
How's is the hood okay?
Yeah, it just basically from there's the front bumper and then there's
Did
the
you
balance.
kill anybody in the Subaru? I mean,
no. The lady was gonna see me next Tuesday. Look, she was unnecessarily combative.
Oh wow!
I get it. I fucked up. I get it. As soon as we pulled off the side of the road, I jumped out of the car. I went over to her side car, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" She had a dog in the car with her. Are you okay? And she kind of nodded her head, and I'm like, "Okay, great." And then she got out, and I said, "Ma'am, I'm very sorry. Are you okay? Do you need anything?" And she said, "No, I'm fine." Okay, great. And then after that, she was just
my neck.
She was just.
You're gonna end up in court, and that dog's gonna have a fucking neck brace.
Yeah, she was just overly combative and unnecessarily. She spent 25 minutes trying to find her digital insurance card on her phone, and she couldn't find it, and she reset her password 4 times, and she's standing there with her license in her hand, and I said, "Ma'am, while you're doing that, would you mind if I got a picture of your license? I'll give it to you when I'm ready." Okay. So I'm waiting, and I'm just standing on the side of the road. I know it's going to rain any minute now. I want to get off the road. And then finally I was like, "Do you have a printed copy of your insurance? I don't even care if it's expired." She's like, "Oh yeah, I have that." And so she opens the door and grabs it, and I take a picture. We could have been off the road in 3 minutes, but she wanted to drag it out.
Wait a minute. So you're still in the lane?
We're on the.
Oh,
it
okay,
happened right. Where there's an exit for the freeway. It happened right there. So we moved into that.
I'm just saying, you're on a freeway. That's not safe.
Yeah, that was my point. I'm like, let's get these pictures done. Let's get out of here. She had somebody else show up for some reason.
That guy was taking fucking pictures like no other.
And she was like, "Man, you really messed up my car. Man, I have so much pride in my car, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Every time I understand that you're upset, and I apologize. It's my mistake. I apologize. I couldn't say I'm sorry anymore." And then finally, once after 25 minutes of dealing with her trying to get this thing, I was like, "Look, give me the picture of your insurance card." And this guy that showed up was trying to explain to me how insurance works, and what I should be doing right now. I'm like, "Yeah, man, thanks. I appreciate it. As soon as I get her card, I'm out of here." And then I got her picture, and I took off. And I, went on a State Farm app on your phone, submitted a claim. They called me today and set up what I need to do and all. But just it was just one of those after a really good trip on the way home.
They wanted a police report or something.
No, I don't know what.
I don't. Here
it was super. It was super awkward.
Citizens arrest.
She was super awkward and, like I said, combative. And then this dude showed up. I don't even know who the dude was to her. I don't know. Boyfriend, husband, son, friend. I don't know. And I'm like,
she was older.
What's that?
She was older.
My age. But when the guy shows up, I'm like, look, to myself, I'm thinking, this doesn't involve you. I'm not going to engage in conversation with you. You don't need to be here. All I need is the insurance information so I can move on. But after a good trip, yes, I acknowledge the fact that it was my fuck up, 100%. But I just wanted to get home, and the last thing I need right now in my life is a wrecked truck. It just put me in such a bum mood on Sunday when I got home.
You have insurance, right?
I got insurance.
Insurance will cover the
insurance is covered.
I
have no concern about that. I even talked to him today about if I wanted to, would I be able to cash out and then do the repairs myself or whatever? And she said absolutely. So I've got options there. So I don't know, Nicole, if you know of anybody that might have an aftermarket bumper that I would like to buy. But so I don't know.
She's bugging me for one.
I don't know if I'm going to do that or just replace it with a factory or what, but it's just super shitty. It's, it's one of those, again, and there is 98% of the time I'm on the road. If there was an accident, I'd be like, yeah, yeah, I deserve that. Like this moment, I just was as mellow and normal as possible.
Yeah, I mean, by the time I got up to you, and I mean, you guys were just talking, and then
I was still trying to get her insurance at that point.
And that's when but it didn't seem like, I saw the Subaru, the hatchback was pretty fucked up, but it seemed like
it was like a newer one, or
2017.
Yeah, I mean, they all look the same.
Yeah,
but I was just like, okay, Cody's good. Like you look fine. She looked fine. I'm like, okay.
We were going less than 20 miles an hour. Like at 20 miles an hour is when I started to apply my brake because everybody was slowing.
Yeah.
And I think what happened was, you know how like you're starting to slow down. I think somebody locked up a couple cars in front, and then it just came to a quick stop because as I was slowing down and I looked over, I still had plenty of room.
You gauged the like the speed she was going.
I had plenty of room, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit. And she's like, "Didn't you see us stop?" Yes, I saw you stop, but decided to run into you anyways. What kind of shit is that?
I didn't want to use my brakes.
Yeah,
so I just wanted you
I figured I needed a new bumper. You needed a new hatchback, so let's do this right now.
I mean,
I saw you stopping, but you gave me a dirty look in the mirror, so I just kept going.
Can I take from her perspective for a second? Just a quick second. I hate having to log into anything. And if I had to pull up my digital insurance card and like, it took me 4 fucking tries, I would be flipping out and I'd be looking at you like, you
100%.
So that would already put me into,
Yeah, but why wouldn't you have the paper one print out just in case?
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's a digital one.
Screenshot
then
of
fucking
your
have
card.
it Johnny on the spot.
Have it available.
Yeah.
Why
I
didn't
have
you
a
stop?
screenshot of my digital card.
What if you knew you were in traffic? Why didn't you stop?
Hey, take a screenshot of it when you when you log into your
that's
fucking
what
app.
I have.
I'm just saying I can hardly log into this computer every week, so I get the frustration.
100%, dude.
Of whatever. So whatever. I'm sure you were. Look, I'm at fault. I got to take some of this heat that, regardless of whether it's warranted or not, or how much of it. So that's kind of the thing. And at 25 minutes, all right,
Yeah, whoever has one of those digital license plates, they're fucking, ultimate douchebaggery.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
those guys
they
are
probably
horrible.
only put them on Teslas.
Yeah, I mean, dude, ultimate. That's like, so you have douchebag level. That's like elite douchebag.
Yeah.
If you have a digital license plate.
Yes.
And red door handles.
On a Tesla.
And red door handles.
Yes. But hey, I bet you save money.
You guys want a current report of how much money
No,
you're
I
saving?
don't.
Okay. Do you want? We can do it weekly. I can
do
say
a
I
weekly
saved.
update.
I saved so much money this week.
So I did not save money this week because I have a deductible to pay now, and just like right now, it was like one of those. You know how you're like,
when it rains,
you're just like, oh god damn it,
Literally.
like yes, like fuck. So I doubt she's listening to the show, but unless she took pictures and now she's logged in and she's a fan. I apologize. I mean, it was.
She would take a picture of the "How's my driving" sticker on the back.
Probably.
I'm
not.
calling that number.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
You're getting fired, pal.
Yeah, that'd be so awesome.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
Yeah. It sucked, man. It absolutely sucked.
For breakfast.
And I it was like the last thing in the world I wanted to deal with. But
yeah, your face when you drove by me, like after you caught up to me, you're just like, fuck this weekend. You're just like, fuck.
But imagine if you were like on the way home from something else. At least you were like on the way home from doing something cool.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Or at least you were on the way to do something cool.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I can't freaking turn.
Yeah, no, it again, there's tenor. It could have been worse. There, it was minor. The truck is drivable. We both walked away. It's 100% my fault. Hopefully her attorney doesn't hear that, but I fucked up, and it is that's what insurance is for.
It doesn't matter.
It's what insurance is for. I feel bad about it. It was just one of those things where you're like, awesome. Like this is awesome sauce. So I have to I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the truck and how I'm going to make that happen and what the next
Ranger
step is.
Raptor.
Well, that was the other thing. Like, I've been, obviously I've been talking about that for a while, and I absolutely want to do it. But I read an article that was like, if you want a Ranger Raptor, don't expect to spend less than $1,000 a month, because even though the MSRP is $57,000, no dealer is going to sell it for less than $30,000 over MSRP. Like, if you can get your hands on
how
one,
is that not illegal?
I don't.
Ford wasn't it Ford? Someone wasn't it Ford was trying to make that illegal?
They were trying.
Not illegal, but they were trying to bypass it.
Well, they were trying to. They'll give like dealers that do that shit less allocations.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the reality is that's probably not in my immediate future. So and I got to fix the truck no matter what.
Just get the new Line Cruiser. It's coming back. Line Cruiser's coming back, guys. Hooray!
No.
So now it's time where I bring up whose truck gets fixed first, mine or his.
mine's still drivable.
I can drive mine here. I'm just preventative. Like, I don't want my transmission blowing up.
I could pull the front bumper off that bitch and have no problem.
You don't even
Off
have
of
to do
that what?
Off that bitch. Off of my bitch. So
I say what?
I'll say what. So yeah, I need to make
Identical.
I need to make some changes. I need to make some changes to the Ranger and figure it out. But it is it's a bummer. I'm a bummed dude right now. I'm a bummed dude. But we'll figure it out. Like I said, it could be worse. All right. Anything else, guys? We can talk about. I think. We did talk about the Cabe Adventures, July 9th. We will be there. I am looking forward to that. I think it will be a lot of fun.
That sounds fun.
What else we got coming up? I'm trying to think of what other events we have coming up. July 9th. Oh, okay. I don't think there's anything major coming up between now and then. So we'll be out at Cabe Toyota on July 9th. If you guys are going to go, and you'll hear about us talk about this every week. So if you guys are going to go, let me know. And I'd like to see how many of the listeners actually come out. Well, maybe we'll, like Matt mentioned, we'll try to do a phrase that pays or some kind of special giveaway or something. So let me know how many of you guys are going to be there to see if it's worth ordering some things, and then we'll go from there. Thanks to Brad for joining us tonight, and thanks to Cabe Toyota for inviting us to be part of their grand opening event. And thanks to you guys for listening. It's been a lively chat room, and as usual, fortunately Tim had to log off early, so
that's probably good for you.
All of my insults,
that was actually super good for you.
Just with one person logging off, my insults dropped 50%, easy 50%. So I appreciate that. All right, guys. Anything else?
No.
All right. Well, then, thank you guys every week for hanging out with us.
Unless you guys want to talk the Tesla report, every week we talk about the Tesla.
I don't think anybody cares.
Okay. All right. Well, content.
Let's do. How long has it been? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
3 weeks now.
Okay. So let's wait till the first month at 4 weeks. So next week, I'd like to see a full report prepared by you for next week on.
It's great
on money saved.
Done.
So
okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You guys have a good night. We'll talk to you next week.
Good night.